business side of me in terms of how I conduct business and how I see employees and how I see management because of the way they ran their estate. And so as a young child, they had me count money and would say, pour out 2 ounces of something or weigh 3 grams of something. And so, and take it to the lady and take the money and speak to speak to the person. And so without me even knowing it, they were really preparing me for a life of business. My father and I don't really have a great relationship, but because of his hunger for knowledge and education, I think that's where I got that side of me from, and that I will be forever grateful for.
If there's a particular kind of music that you listen to when you're creating, when you're in your creative space, what type of music would that be?
I listen to all types of music from all over the world, but there is nothing like a Marshall Montano.
Marshall. Let's take a quick break, but before we go on the break, I'm going to leave you with this question. It's hypothetical. You have an opportunity to go to your favorite place of relaxation with your favorite music, a favorite book or type of book, and a favorite drink. Where will this place be? What will the music be, the book, and the drink? Let's take a break, Kirk.
And it was just a wonderful experience.
I had a great time. I always have a great time when I come here. There was 1 week when I came here 3 times.
Very simple, good food, good friends, amazing staff. I can't complain. And it was just a wonderful.
Daji, Kumanaka, you can want India, Madeni, Andi and Tamani, and Madabonia, Ikanandoya, Mado, Moda,
We are back with Kirk, Cambridge Del Peche. Kirk, you remember the question?
Yes. So I would be on the island of St. Lucia,
Mm-hmm.
on Sandy Beach. I will have some rum and coconut water, cold, chilled, frozen. I will
Not
have
coconut water and rum, but rum and coconut water.
rum and coconut water.
Okay.
Rum first.
Yeah, yes, I get it.
Rum, coconut water. I recently came across this amazing book by this brilliant Caribbean-born author,
Mm.
and it's called The Earth's Hearts.
Oh, you didn't do that. You didn't.
I love this book. Amazing book.
Thanks for the plug, Kirk.
And my music I would have would be a mixture of soca, calypso, kaiso, lipso, everything Caribbean, because I love the diversity of Caribbean music.
Kirk, in any conversation with you, what stands out is not only your sense of humor, but also your deep love and passion for what you do. When did this intimacy with your craft begin?
But when I decided to leave MAC Cosmetics and pursue a solo career in 2008, I realized that I didn't do it because it was the money. I did it because I loved it. Mm-hmm. And I did it because, for me, it became very natural. And it was just a natural transition. I remember going home to the Caribbean and saying something to my grandmother. And she looked at me and she said, "That's not who you are." She said, "If I were you, I would take some time and get to know yourself." And I remember coming back from that trip and really honing in on my Caribbeanness.
Let me go to the chat room for a second. Sonia, love the color and you love Ade. What explanation of the Caribbean culture? Great explanation of the Caribbean culture. Michelle Morgan just got in. No C. Greetings, everyone. Karen, hey, Kirk, congrats. Heidi, hi, Kirk. I'm glued to the interview. It's awesome. So pleased to know that you have not forgotten your Vincentian roots and you are keeping the Caribbean alive. Congratulations. You look fabulous. Michelle Morgan, much Vincy love. What are some myths about makeup artists, Kirk?
That everybody's successful. I think that's the biggest one. They think that when you're a makeup artist, you're successful. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of makeup artists when I used to do a lot of magazine work. And then it transitioned to theater. Then it went to opera. Then it went to ballet. Then it went to movies and music videos and private clients. And so I've learned to take the things that I've learned in the theatrical world and put them into my everyday life in makeup. And I know when the economy crashed, a lot of people lost their jobs and a lot of people weren't employed by magazines anymore. And I was grateful that because of my Caribbean-ness to adapt, mm-hmm. I was able to move from one type of makeup job to several others. And when one was a little lopsided, I could go to another one. And because I had the type of reputation that I had, I always get work by referral. I've never applied for a job.
Kirk, talking about that, you toured with Fela.
I did.
And also I've worked from major networks, ABS, CNN, CBS, Fox, NBC, TV shows like Oprah, The View, and several celebrities like Kerry Washington, Destiny's Child, Michelle Williams, the late Arthur Kitt, Smokey Robinson, Pastor Paula White, Orlando Jones. Wow. How, you just answered that question, how you got these high profile jobs. But how do you, with all of that, how do you manage to stay grounded?
Because my clients will tell you one thing about me. I don't socialize outside our business agreements.
Okay.
So, like Smokey and his wife, I'll sit and have breakfast with them. We'll talk about my life in the Caribbean. We'll talk about growing up. But we don't, I wouldn't say, oh, I want to go to this event that you're going to, or, I don't believe in that. I believe when I finish my job, I get my check, I go back to my hotel room, and I hang out with my friends or my brother, depending on where I'm at. Yeah, I'm not a big socializer with my clients. If they're having a birthday party and I'm invited, I would attend, but I don't mix business and pleasure very well.
What is the biggest challenge with theater makeup?
There is, for me,
Yes.
not to be cocky, but there is no challenge for me. I mean, I don't know, because I literally have now been able to merge my editorial makeup into theater.
Uh-huh.
And it is a beautiful thing to see, because I think we started doing it in Philadelphia about 5 or 6 years ago. I worked with Cookie Jordan, who also is one of someone that influences me a great deal. She's an amazing hair designer. She designed the hair and makeup on Broadway for a lot of shows. She worked on Fela. She brought me into Fela. And she and I have worked together for a good 8 or 9 years now.
So,
And they all, it's like theater makeup used to be heavy and caked on, but then the age of HD came in.
mm-hmm.
And so they started filming it for viewing later, for putting it online and so on. And I started doing my thing, and she's just like, I don't think it's gonna work. And then when they shot it in HD, they were like, makeup is flawless. She came to me, she was very excited. She's like, oh my God, whatever you're using, we have to start using it. And so now every show that we do, we bring that into the show.
Somebody asked me to ask you tonight, what are some makeup products you use?
My latest love has been Bare Minerals. I like the fact that they're all mineral based, and you can find the right colors and textures for you.
What is the name again?
Bare Minerals. MAC has always been my go-to, because it's a company I was with for a long time. I was with them for 8 years.
What's so special about MAC?
MAC was literally, it's all about pigment and wear, how long it wears, how well it wears. Women of color, I found, were able to find their color more directly in that brand, and the colors tend to stand out more. For me, it's all about pigmentation, and MAC, I find, for photo shoots and for televisions, wears and really stands the test of time.
People, fashion, and style are like the winds, ever changing, ever evolving, constantly reinventing itself. Your quote. What does that say to you?
It says that everything changes. And I came to that very thought when I was doing Mimi LeDuc with Eartha Kitt in 2008 fall. And this is when I first started working for her. And she did a show called Mimi LeDuc, and there was a line in the show where she says, everything changes, even me. And every night I would hear it. And then one night, and she and I were talking about it one night at dinner. And I said, Ike, what does that say to you? And she says, everything changes in your life from the time you're born until you die. It's in a constant state of change. The change might be little, it might be big, but it's always change. And I was just like, and I looked at her, I was like, it's kind of like the winds. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, the winds are always changing and always evolving, and it gets bigger or smaller or whatever. It goes north, it goes south, it goes west, it goes east. And she just looked at me and she smiled. She's like, oh, my little island boy.
How do you define your own personal style?
I love clothes. I have a love affair with shoes.
I don't have a shoe cam, Kirk. You can always present the show one.
This is Selwyn's first shoe cam, and I gave it to him, and he's going to have a shoe cam. So anybody else coming after me, you need to show your shoes. And if they're not fierce, everybody gonna know.
All right.
Good.
Well said.
So now, I like well-made clothes, and I like things that stand out, and you know, whether it's a cut or a stitch or, you know, things must fit, and they must fit well. That's always been my thing. I never liked baggy pants. My pants were always, you know, fitted but not tight. My shirts were always enough. You know, it was enough fabric. It wasn't too little fabric. So it just, you know, and as you get older, your sense of fashion changes, you know.
Kirk, you are very confident, very sure of yourself. You speak well. You know who you are, and I like that. We are both from the Caribbean. We understand the various ethos of the ethos of the various countries in the Caribbean and so on. What was it like for you growing up as a young man, but a young or a gay Caribbean man? What was that like for you?
You know, I was friends with everybody. So I was friends with the gangsters, the drug dealers, the rich white people, the poor people. I was friends with everyone. And I think it was because of my family. My family was very inclusive of everyone. So for me, when everyone else was getting, you know, I didn't have a lot of gay friends. I didn't know other gay people. It was just me. So I just knew me. And everyone was accepting of me. But then I would hear how they would talk about someone, say, oh, that batty boy, that bullet man, and this. But no one ever said that to me. I was just another person. And so as I got older and I started traveling throughout the Caribbean, people started saying, you know, I'd meet other gay